Jeez, every time I think I'm done with this, Thunderf00t goes and posts another ignorant screed about the Hyperloop. And it's gotten to the point where he's just repeating the same thing that's been debunked over and over and over and over and over again, in this series as well as by many other people. Like this bit.
So, it's not tall enough to stand up in.
Can you believe he still hasn't got the idea of a scale model? But hey, you know what else isn't tall enough to stand up in? Your car! Hey, I guess your car can't take you anywhere either. He's also not at any sort of actual Hyperloop track. He's at SpaceX's test track. He still hasn't figured out that SpaceX is not trying to make a Hyperloop only to encourage other companies to give it a try. Remember the student contest and how we laughed at Thunderf00t laughing at it because he didn't even understand the first thing about what they were even testing? But he still doesn't learn. He still clings on to claims that were long ago shown to be bogus. He brings up the idea of shooting it with a rifle, which we debunked. He brings up earthquakes, which we covered. He brings up the low speed, which we laughed at because he doesn't understand that this was a scale test that wasn't even testing top speed to begin with. He went into thermal expansion, which we dealt with over and over and over again. He still doesn't get the idea that how SpaceX made the test track isn't necessarily how any of the Hyperloop companies are going to build the actual tubes. He perseveres in claims about its commercial viability that we found easy to refute with simple math. He talked about depressurization once again as though no one had ever responded to him about it, or showed that this actually is covered in the alpha document and is a serious consideration by the Hyperloop companies. He still doesn't get the difference between the Hyperloop and the maglevs and monorails that have previously been built. In fact, there's a grand total of one new argument he makes in this 21-minute video. 21 minutes! And there's only one thing he says that hasn't been debunked ad nauseum. So let's cut right to it.
I think, as you see it starting, the whole tube is rusted on the inside. I don't think they quite realise.
I think Thunderf00t's brain has been rusting on the inside. Hey, Thunderf00t, you do know there are ways they can prevent rusting once they build a real Hyperloop tube, not a temporary test tube, right? You could galvanize it, or make it out of stainless steel, or Corten steel, or give it a phosphate coating, or, gee, I don't know, paint it! Yes, Thunderf00t is the mighty, towering intellect of leading-edge technology, and he still hasn't caught on to the idea of painting something! And he's still promising another video on the Hyperloop about the speed competition. I'll leave it to you viewers. Is there any point in me doing another one of these? You know what? I'll go out on a limb and try and predict some of the things he'll say. Duh, they only done gone 200 miles an hour, not the full speed, lols. And how fast would you expect them to be able to go on a test track that's only a little over 3/4 of a mile long? Considering it also had to brake at the end, it sounds pretty impressive to me. In fact, the WAR group who made the top speed was the only team who was trying to go as fast as they possibly could. The rest of the teams were testing other aspects of their pods. The days did stop fast! For the record, the criteria for winning was both maximum speed and successful deceleration. In other words, quick braking. They used other pod to pushes it so it doesn't count. Oh, you know he's gonna say something about SpaceX's pusher vehicle, which was only used for the particular test pods that didn't include a motor because teams were also using this as an opportunity to test other aspects of their pods. Paradigm was mostly interested in testing their air bearings in addition to the brakes. They were also testing their lateral correction system. The pods from Swissloop and from competition winner WAR, for just two examples, didn't use the pusher as they had their own propulsion system. By the way, for their next test in 2018, the pusher won't be available to any team. They'll all have to propel it on their own. Maglev! Every pod whose specifications I could find ran on air bearings, not magnets. The track wasn't even equipped for a maglev. Some pods just ran on wheels because they weren't attempting to test a hover system. Is Thunderfoot going to criticize him for that too? What else might he talk about? The technical glitches like the ones that Swiss Loop and Paradigm encountered, which are to be expected in any such test? It's really hard to predict what depths of incredible stupid Thunderfoot is going to sink to on this. I can see all of these coming, but then I couldn't have seen the stupid cardboard or rust angles, so I might be surprised at just how idiotic he is. Or maybe not, so let me know when he uploads it. So this might be the last video in this series, if all Thunderfoot does is repeat himself like he's mostly been doing lately. Either way, stay strong and be free.